Morning, everybody. It's 8:36 on Thursday, and because it's Thursday, it's Claims Day, and we have a bunch of other news. This is your pre-opening comment for June the 2nd, and it's video number 1305. And I remind everyone, please subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell. Okay, so Asia a little lower, Europe a little higher, UK closed for the Queen's Jubilee. The first numbers that we got this morning were ADP. ADP payrolls up 128,000. That was less than half of what was expected. It was expected at 299, came in at 128. Then, 15 minutes later, initial claims down 11,000 to 200,000. Continuing claims down from 1,343,000 to 1,309,000. So that's a new post-pandemic low. To give you an idea of how the markets reacted to this, at 7:55 the Dow was up 133. At 8:17 after the ADP numbers, we were up 110, and right now, after everything, we're up 115. So really not a lot of information moving the markets. The NASDAQ was up 83, then up only 55, now up 60. S&P up 20 to up 15, currently up 16. The 10-year bond, however, was trading in the 288 and change, 289 area, currently trading just about 291, actually 290.8. So a lot of information, none of which would dissuade the Fed from raising rates. And the productivity numbers were interesting. Productivity was down 7.3%, which is a bad number. What makes that worse is that unit labor costs were up 12.6% versus last month's 11.6%. So you're talking about new highs in unit labor costs and productivity falling. Not really what you want to see. Okay, corporate news. Chewy, mentioned it yesterday, and in last night's video, they beat. And the stock this morning is 28.20. That's up 471 or 20%. This is kind of interesting. The CEO from UAL made a comment this morning about fares getting back to normal. I'm not sure I understand what that means. Last week, he was talking about how great it was going to be, just like the CEO from Delta did yesterday. And the CEO from Delta's talk had absolutely nothing positive in the price of the stock, even though he was raving to anyone who'd listen how great things were. I think the stock was down $2.50. So fares to normal, is that normal post-COVID? Is that normal pre-COVID? Not really clear. RPTX, a biotech, closed yesterday at 8.75. This morning trading as high as 11.46. The last is 11.15, and that's up 240 or 27%, and that is on the basis of a deal for a tumor treatment that is going to be marketed on a joint venture with Roche, which is a huge company. We don't hear much about it now because I believe it's Swiss. But this stock has been as high as the mid 40s. But, 27% is 27%. If you owned it yesterday, you love it today. Dow futures now moving back up a little, up 124. And let's take a look at the chart on the screen. That is nat gas. We added to our nat gas position yesterday and today we are back above $9. This has been one of the most reliable technical trades that there's been. All we have are consolidations, breakouts, moves up, self correcting, moves back to the point to breakout, new highs, pullbacks, back to the support, back up, new highs, 2 day little double top, only 1 cent of difference between the highs those days, comes right back down. This blue line is the 20-day moving average, and it has acted as a buffer. We've only closed below it once back here in May, and then once here the last day of May, so Monday. And as I mentioned last night in the video, Tuesday was an inside day. So even though it closed near the low, it did not follow to the downside. It actually opened up and moved higher all day. I was a little concerned because inside days are generally thought to be um, uneventful, meaningless, because it maintains itself between the high and the low of the prior day. But we did close on the high, came down a little overnight, and then started back up. The high for the day today is 905. What I'm going to be looking for is a close higher than 899.30, which is what we had the end of last week. So that would be a solid move higher. And on a weekly basis, I believe, yep, on a weekly basis, a close here would be a new high recovery close. So very interesting, and I'm overwhelmingly bullish long term on that. Grains are a little higher. Oil, which was down over $3, is now down 92 cents. A lot of talk about the OPEC meeting, and frankly, who cares? I mean, they can't really help us um, if we can't have the oil refined, so that's a problem. Gold higher, $6. This has been, one of the most disappointing trades that there's been. I've been talking to Dennis, who trades our futures, trades them for me, trades them for a couple of other clients, and has two programs. One is a $25,000 gold only program. Now, Dennis has, I think he's up in the neighborhood of 71% year to date, and the year is not quite half over. In any event, if you don't know about futures trading, you ought to. You ought to give me a call or email me for information. I'm happy to provide it, and there are some really tremendous um, advantages tax wise in trading options. I mean, trading futures. Um, but beyond that, the old days of futures gapping in one direction or the other, as the stock market does on a regular basis. I mean, if you went home short Chewy last night, you didn't get an opportunity to cover it, and it's going to be up 20% today. The futures trade 23 hours a day. They trade until 5 o'clock at night East Coast time. They close for an hour, and then they reopen and trade all night again. So I would definitely dispute the idea that futures are more dangerous than stocks. They're not. Um, S&P up 15 on the futures, up 50 in the NASDAQ, up 98. So with fair value, we're right around the same levels I gave you. Dollar is down a little, Bitcoin basically unchanged, same with Ethereum, and the bonds are up 18/32, which is 9/16 of a dollar. All right, everyone, give me a call. Let me know if you want to hear about the futures trading, and have a good day. Be careful out there. And remember, tomorrow is the ADP numbers. So those generally have a little bit more oomph behind them. Oh, by the way, um, our position in Starbulk, SBLK. The stock went ex-dividend this morning at $1.65. It's currently trading at 32, which is showing as up 35 cents, even though it closed higher yesterday. So don't be misled there. The stock is, in fact, higher by $2 if you owned it for the ex-dividend. Have a good day.